Hey, how are you? Welcome again in the yet our other segment, episode number 2. And this time round, we want to focus on introverts. And maybe in a nutshell, who will be an introvert for us?
I think without multiplying words, an introvert will be somebody who is slow to share their energies with strangers.
Loud and clear. Slow to share their energies with strangers. And that is to say, what makes it slow for them? What makes slow to them?
Now, it depends on a number of issues. Background matters. If I've been raised in a family of introverts, people who believe other people should not poke their noses into my business, I can be slow to share myself to people. Also, crisis can do. There are people who, they were extroverts before, then crisis hits or whatever kind, and they're like, okay, look, maybe I need to be more reflective in life, and by being more reflective, I'll need to, stop first, take care of myself, be slow on myself before getting out to others, before reaching out to others. So a number of factors come into play.
Sure. Reputation. Once reputation is disputed, reputation has been painted vibaya. People find a way of retrieving, and that's it for them. The energies they brought in the social spaces, they no longer do.
Also, self-knowledge can also force you into that direction of an introvert, because once you've known and appreciated yourself, and you realize that this energy I was giving people is toxic to them, then you'll only do justice to them by being slow to keep sharing that shit. So a number of factors come into play to create somebody who is considered an introvert.
Sure. And that makes lots of sense. And maybe introverts in making friends. Maybe you might want to share something on that. So they have introverts are in that social space, in that conference room. You see the struggle they have to go through to make friends or to link up with someone else. Probably they will be seated the entire day next to the only person beside them. They will know the name of that person. They will go for breakfast together, probably, if they happen to click, that is.
Now, I think the nature of relations of introverts and extroverts differ in terms of quality and quantity.
Loud and clear.
While the extroverts want to, make lots of friends, make a big impact, big social impact, the introverts will want to get one qualitative one or two qualitative ones and say, this is a win for me for the day. I've been in a social space, I've found this one guy or this one lady, and our energies kind of match. That's a win for me. But on the other flip side, for the extrovert, it's no. I need to leave an impression to these people, not this person, are these people. And so I believe the nature of interactions will be different in a social space, in the sense that for an extrovert, they are more qualitative. For an extrovert, they are more quantitative. For an introvert, they are more qualitative.
Loud and clear. I read in some page, Facebook page of I think introvert something page, and someone had written and said, I have lots of joy and something I want to share with the world, but whenever I go back in my room, I just realize I can't say it to anyone, and somehow for some reason I have to just find a way of diffusing that joy within myself.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. I also saw another meme that had a book, very big book with a number of pages, and then the title was "The Things I'd Have Wanted to Say."
Wow.
Because I think the introvert is wired in a design that they say something because they have something to say, while the extrovert is wired in the design that they say something because they have to say something. And so that also influences the kinds of interactions they'll have. Now, you've heard of the antisocial social club. So it's a social club that helps the antisocial people, the introverts, to come out of themselves. Of course, it's a joke, but it's I feel it's deep, something. It hits deep. And so the kinds of interactions that the introverts will have, in my opinion, they'll be more qualitative than those of extroverts. But now on the flip side, the universe has opportunities for us, and some of those opportunities are hidden under our noses. Now, the extrovert will find those opportunities easier and quicker. They might not notice them, but they'll bump into them easier than the introverts. Now, while the introvert will notice the opportunity and might not interact with it.
Yeah. And does it. Now, we are living in a world where social network, social capital has been a big topic. Everyone talks about social capital and social networking. What is it for introverts, man?
For introverts, it's a hell of an assignment because we're talking about opportunity and ability, where my ability meets an opportunity through someone.
Yeah.
And so the basic idea here is that this someone is the bridge that joins me to the opportunity. But what happens when I'm afraid to approach this bridge? It becomes very difficult.
Sana.
And that's why it's a hell of an assignment for introverts to get into, into the social capital saga. And I believe that with proper direction, with proper guidance, with proper understanding of the self, the introverts also can get to climb that ladder, get to that bridge, and meet that opportunity. Because, we live in a world that is fast, a world that cares about the results, not your tools.
Yeah.
And so nobody will care about your personality.
That
because,
means the way you go to that.
They'll be like, opportunities were there.
Yeah.
But then I didn't reach out. Why did you reach out? No, that's my nature.
I don't do that.
I'm an introvert. But then you see who loses. It's me.
Yeah.
So I'd urge those who are extroverted to find a way, not to change their personality, but find a way of connecting to this bridge that links them to the opportunities.
Loud and clear. Authenticity of the two personalities. We talked about extroverts, and now we are talking about introverts. Who do you think is more authentic, true to themselves?
I think the introvert is more true to themselves than the extrovert. Why? Because the extrovert compromises his space to fit into the others. The introvert will never compromise his space to have you in. We walk into a social space. I'm an introvert, you're an extrovert. You'd meet the marketing director of some organization. You'd want to fit into his space. You'd meet the pastor of some, CITAM current church. You'd want to quote some scriptures so that you fit into his space.
Allah.
Yeah. You'd meet somebody who's into car racing, a car enthusiast. You'll want to mention some engine parts. For me, I don't have to do that. As an introvert, I'll present who I am, not what I do, not what I know, but who I am. So I think in authenticity, the introvert is more authentic in social interactions than the extrovert.
Loud and clear. Public speaking.
Public speaking.
Think of public speaking in relation to introverts.
I don't see a direct link between the two because presentation skills are totally different from stage fright. I might be a good presenter, but the audience will either, kick me off or build me up. And I'll give you a practical example. What we are studying, at the end of it all, we do some exam called a comprehensive exam in a panel of, 7 lecturers or something. Now, the contents I have has nothing to do with my personality. I might be an extrovert. I might have, I might move the room, with all my energy. But a question will be asked, hey, man, Ebu explain to us this concept in relation to this. I have nothing. Then I might be an introvert. I'll go there frightened. I'll even look down or even put on shades and close my eyes because I don't want to see those people. But I got my content. So for public speaking, people say there is a link between the personality and the presentation, but I clearly struggle to see it.
I get you, man. Now, great listeners. It has been stereotyped. I need to say this. It has been stereotyped that introverts end up making good listeners. I don't know about you. What do you think?
I clearly agree to that because they are slow to expose themselves, and that means if we are having a conversation, you'll do more of the talking because I'm scared to expose myself. I once had a friend who was a deep introvert at a time when I was a deep extrovert. And so we could converse, once in a while we'd hang out together and we'd converse. And at the end of the day, when I'm journaling down my day, I realize, hey, look, I have this interaction, and trying to pen down what I got from it, actually realized that I was talking the whole time. And so one day I had to ask this person, hey, look, I also need to hear from you. You know, for me, I'm an open book. You read all the pages in my life. What about you? And they gladly answered, I'm equally an open book, just that my pages are blank.
Hello.
And so
Guy.
the introvert clearly is an active listener. They'll get
Yeah,
details
active
of what
listener.
you say
Mhm.
more than the extrovert.
Mhm.
Most extroverts, they wait for their turn to speak, while introverts don't wait for their turn to speak. They listen. They actually absorb whatever you're saying to them. And that's why 2 years later, I saw this joke that this girlfriend who was an introvert was told by the boyfriend that, hey, this is my friend. He comes from South Africa, blah, blah, blah. And so the girlfriend was like, okay, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. It ended. Then 2 years later, this boy tells the girl that, hey, I'm going to visit that South African friend, that friend of mine. You know, let's say that friend is called Jeff. So I'm going to visit Jeff. Where? At their home. Then the girlfriend is like, so you're flying to South Africa? And this boy realizes that he had lied, that this guy was South African. And so that detail was taken 2 years ago, still has it in mind. So for an extrovert, they forgot about the details, but the introvert always absorbs.
Who is more important? Who is whom will you judge in your own way to be good? A person who takes details as important in relationships, or someone who details do not matter. You have heard of people saying, look, this is how my day looked like. Typical day. Someone start narrating, I did this, I did that. Some people want you just highlight. You do highlights, summary of everything, you know. In the morning I was here, then lunch, then supper, then I came back. But some person did, you know, I met so and so, I did this and this, this and this and this.
I think the world needs both, because using the principles of Immanuel Kant, if we are to universalize that the entire world is full of extroverts, who will listen to the other?
Yeah.
Who will be analytic? Who will help the organization grow? Also, if the world is full of introverts, who will do marketing? You know.
So let's change the conversation, get back to introverts kidogo.
All right.
Now the introverts in relation to getting work done. You know, there are those some people believe, and probably they are right, people believe that, you know, for things that need very quick adjustments, very flexible decision making, you don't need to entrust that to
An introvert.
introvert person, because they want to take some time to think
to
about
analyze.
it and make sure things are strategic. So what do you think of times when crisis has hit, somebody has to respond, the response in the next 45 minutes?
Now, one, it depends with the nature of the event.
Okay.
Why am I saying this? A crisis might hit. I am an introvert, you're an extrovert. Now, the response needed there is action. Being an introvert, I have been careful to analyze the patterns that have led us there. You as an extrovert, you have not been keen to understand the patterns that have led us there. And so in terms of the solution, I have a better solution than you. But also on the flip side, since you're an extrovert, you can easily make calls to A, B, C, D, and they'll come help us in this crisis. So again, it depends. It depends on the nature of the event. But in terms of decision making, you know, we speak of intellect and will. You know, having the knowledge and having the willpower to do.
To choose.
I think introverts win on the intellect part.
Deliberation.
Yes. But then the extroverts win on the will part.
Choosing.
Yes.
Now, if you win on deliberations, it's a direct win for choosing, for will. You
Not
know?
always.
You know why?
Why?
Someone who has taken some good time to think about something, has mapped it so well. You know, when they consent, you know, to will is to consent to that. You know, this is what I'm consenting to. and whatever is willed, the object of will should always be good. You know, ultimately, somehow for some reason, it points to that.
Yes, it does logically, but then there's the part of action, which is not
Action
always guaranteed.
implementation.
Which is not always guaranteed by the amount of information you have on something.
Loud and clear.
Thank you, and see you in the next episode.
Big up.